Oh, you didn't click on the wrong video. I'm just stuck in the Ohio mindset, and I'm just looking, thinking, man, how much better would have been if you were a Bengal instead of a Brown? Man, how much better would the Bengals been if they actually had a defense? A lot of questions and what if. But hey everybody, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic, and welcome back. We're continuing our deep dive into the NFL recap as the draft is approaching ever so closely, and free agency is still going while some little gems are still being picked off here and there. So we're going to be talking about the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that basically had everything going for them. They just signed the two receivers to Big Con, which I'm wondering how you did that. Black magic, but still no defense to speak of. So, yeah. We're talking about them Bengals! Who dat? So, Cincinnati. I feel like I have been basically preparing a Super Bowl parade every season since they went to the Super Bowl with Joe Burrow. And this year, I have no idea what happened because they've basically been playing catch up since like week 10 to get into the playoffs. Where teams like the Steelers were like on the verge of potentially could have won the division if they also, like Steelers, didn't rust and collapse at the end. And Cincinnati was a team that I felt like was 9 wins, easy, 12-5, 9 wins, and they end up being literally 9-8. So another right prediction for me, but that was me thinking at the lowest level. But I kind of felt like they were still going to the playoffs. And, well, it sucks. It sucks. And a lot of it just feels like a glaring hole on the Bengals this year was basically defense. There have been a lot of games where basically the scores look like basketball scores. Pardon. And Joe Burrow had to basically throw for like, 375 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and they'll still lose by 4 points. It is amazing just how an NFL team could be so bad that the defense couldn't do enough just to get a win here and there, where basically the offense has to show out. Remind me of the Rams of old, where Kurt Warner and the Rams would just score 40 points, but the score will be like 41-40. Like they will literally have to outscore them and not beat them with, sound defense and special teams. And heaven forbid a special team mistake could also deteriorate a team's success because it's like now the special team is messing up. That's the whole Bengals season, was just Burrow and the offense basically had to be perfect. Well, everyone else basically, was like, okay, just don't be too bad. And that's the sad thing about the Bengals this year. And them getting T. Higgins and Chase back, I mean, let's see what they do about Trey. According to this, Hendrickson has not been agreed to stay with the Bengals. He says he's open for a trade, and we'll see what happens. I think we'll probably find out more when we get closer to the draft. Man. Bad time to choke my own mind. So, we'll see. I just feel like, man, there's a lot of and also Joe Burrow's still getting sacked too many times. The offensive line is still not doing good. So, pardon me. Like the Bengals season, I'm choking. Oh boy. But before we continue more bashing about the Bengals, let's talk about the beautiful things about being a Bengal fan. To me, your best game took place Week 17 versus Denver. Now, there's some other game you probably can say, but this was a game that was basically doom and gloom. It was basically the only team left in this long, late season run to prevent them from going to the playoffs. And Denver didn't make it easy. Oh my God. There are times, and this really kind of like highlighted, yes, the Bengals did win in overtime, but this really kind of highlighted just how bad the Bengals defense. We all remember the Bo Nix, 25-yard pass, 4th down, late second heroics in that small window with 2 defenders, and we're just thinking, Man, the Bengals defense bad. Man, the Bengals defense sucked to the point where you feel like even if the Bengals got into the playoffs, they might be one and out the door because the defense can't stop them. We all remember the Commanders game, a rookie quarterback on prime time. The no punt game. Now, the Commanders defense did get better as the season went on, but it was the no punt game. And a rookie came in and was like, pew, 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 pew. Now, it was LSU versus LSU, two Heisman winners. So, the LSU Tiger fan were kind of like, hey, we rule what? And it was cool to see, okay, Bengals, Commanders, Super Bowl one day, LSU fans just salivating, saying, who's the better LSU Heisman winner? Blah, 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 blah. Wonderful times. But the no punt game. And you guys lost. Because you couldn't force them to punt. Now, don't worry about it. As another team with a B, the Buccaneers, we couldn't force them to do anything either. A lot of teams couldn't force the Commanders to punt because they went for it on fourth down so many times. And a lot of it was not because of Jaden Daniels scrambling, but it was just that he found people open. So it was like, oh my God. We're talking about the Commanders. But for the Bengals, you guys won. Yes, you kept your playoff hopes alive. It was a last step. Still needed some help. But man, as a positive it was, there was still like, why do we do this? Because earlier in the season, it did impact you, and that took place week 10 versus the Ravens. A game where basically you guys were just one punch. And then the fourth quarter, you guys score 5 combined. You basically scored 5 touchdowns combined in a 21-13. The fourth quarter was his own game, 21-13. In a Ravens 1-point victory. I have been told by multiple coaches from all levels, from basketball to hockey to soccer to football, it sucks to lose by 1 point. But it feels damn good to win by 1. And I always felt like, man, what is the... I mean, you can look at the game and say, what is the thing? Oh, yeah, Justin Tucker missed a PAT. And then they got then the Ravens got a 2-point conversion. And then, of course, the Ravens went for 2, and they didn't get it. Now, you can say all you want and say, well, they probably shouldn't have gone for 2. And I'm thinking, I don't know. The Bengals defense didn't really give me any confidence that they would stop the Ravens on a last-second drive. And also, you don't want the Ravens to get the ball back to force it. So, maybe it was best just so we could end it right there. I don't know. It's one of the things as a fan where you feel like if they don't get it, you're thinking, you should have kicked the extra point. And then if they get it, you're thinking, they're ballsy, they're geniuses, we're great. And this is one of those games where you kind of felt like, let's look back at the Bengals season. And some say you can go back to week 1 against this Patriot, the 16-13, where you guys were at home. You lost that game. I'm not going to say that. The first 4 weeks, I kind of give you guys a mulligan. But, looking at the season, the Chargers game was another one. The defense just fell apart. The Steelers game was a high-scoring affair. Yeah, there was probably 3 or 4 games, probably after you guys beat the Raiders, that I probably would have been like, probably should have won one of those games there. But that's been Bengals season. It just feels like, man, just needed 1 win somewhere, then you probably win the playoffs. Could have been 1 and done? Maybe. But you could have been in it. So, yeah, 1-point loss division for Ravens because you've been ballsy. Can't criticize them too much. I know my teams have that don't go for 2 and then they get lose. A.k.a. the Chiefs on a coin flip in overtime. Even Baker Mayfield was like, we lost. That's how bad it is out there. But your worst game is a 1-point loss to the Ravens, especially when it maybe could have did differently if you guys would have just found a way to win. But also, the defense could just get a stop, man. Could just stop them. Stop. Keep them from under 30 points, please. So, MVP for them. I mean, do we really need to... How why you guys had a chance? Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow threw for 4,900 yards. Basically, I'm just going to say he threw for 5,000 yards. 43 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. If you throw for over 40 touchdowns and you're still in your interception total is still in the single digits. I mean, I think Joe Burrow, to me, probably should have been the MVP more than Josh Allen. But maybe the notion that he didn't lead the team to the playoff was probably the one thing that was kind of like Xing him. If the Bengals went to the playoff, I think Joe Burrow would have won MVP. Now, granted, I am curious why Josh Allen won and not Lamar Jackson when it comes to stats. But I always kind of felt like when it comes to MVP, Josh Allen had done more to help the Browns, Bengals, Bills. They're like a lot of teams with B's. The Bills get to the playoffs. Well, I feel like Lamar Jackson did his job, but Derrick Henry also helped carry the load. Now, Lamar Jackson's stats were so much more superior than Josh Allen. No criticizing there. But to me, it just felt like Josh Allen had to do more to get them there, while the Ravens, I feel like if Lamar Jackson had the same stat numbers, like exactly like Josh Allen, I think the Ravens probably still would have been in the playoffs. And probably still would have been division winners. Like, I really felt that. Because Derrick Henry was a big catalyst for that. So that's probably what I would say the voting is on that. But MVP was Joe Burrow, obviously. Season grade for you guys. I'm going to give the same grade I gave to them Dirty Birds of Atlanta. Better luck next time. Better luck next time. You were close. You were close. Better luck next time. One win here and there could change your whole season. Also, in a defense for Joe Burrow, there's some people talking about, and by talking I mean like ESPN making comment because they're bored this week. Is Joe Burrow on the hot seat? If Joe Burrow is on a hot seat to improve, then what is Lamar and Josh Allen's status on the hot seat? At least Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl. Those two guys have not. So where is their pressure? Some of them are getting paid. I mean, Joe Burrow will get paid, of course, in time. They got the receivers back. So I just have a hard time thinking you cannot blame it on Joe Burrow when he took it to the Super Bowl, when he had no offensive lineman. He was being sacked like, 20 times in the playoffs. So to me, if there's any pressure on Joe Burrow, it should be switched to the pressure on general manager and ownership to get players. Because if Joe Burrow keeps getting sacked and the line cannot protect him, God forbid you get an Andrew Luck situation where Joe Burrow is like, I can't do this, I'm out. I don't want to die before I'm 35. So that's what I'm going to say on that. The draft picks for you guys is, well, going defense. I'm going defense in no particular order. I got Mike Green, edge from Marshall. I think he'll be a steal. Walter Nolan, defensive tackle from Missouri. Stop the rushing attack of your foes. And James Pierce Jr. Now, some of the pass rush, I would say keep them, especially if they get Trey back. Because therefore, I feel like Trey, as great as he is, having a number 2 would make it. And plus, it'll help out a defense. If you have 2 guys sacking quarterback or pressuring them, it'll help out a weaker secondary that can't stop, the perimeter passing threat. So I would say get linemen, basically. Edge rusher, defensive tackle, stop the run or sack quarterbacks. You pick your poison. But I'm saying it. And especially if you can somehow get Trey back. Now, if you don't get Trey back, then I'm thinking you're going to go strictly on pass rusher, edge side. But if you get Trey back, still get a secondary guy to help out with the pass rush there. So, to me, that's the Bengals should do. That's the draft pick. That's the season that was. Bengals, I am sorry. So, that's the Bengals. Now, the 2 teams that didn't make the play, all from Ohio. So, giving Ohio the biggest L of the season. Now, we're going to go to a team that, let's be real, did really think they were going to be as good as we thought they were? Did we thought the 2 quarterback system was going to be good? I'm putting quotations on a lot of this because was the Steelers season good? I don't know. But we'll talk about them next time. So let's go to Pittsburgh. Yay. But until then, I'm Cortez, and I'm a critic. Thank you so very much for watching.